Welcome to K-Wave. I'm Hongbin Jung, your South Korean living right here in Singapore, bringing you all you have to know about the Hallyu fever or the Korean wave. And it's K-Influencer today, so I have someone very special joining me today. And you may have seen her latest video where she gave a house tour in Seoul of her new boyfriend's place, which hit more than 1.5 million views on TikTok. And she's a model right here in Singapore. She's Aimee Cheng-Bradshaw. Hi, Aimee. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me today.
Of
It's been a
course.
while since I've seen you, and
I
there's
know.
been there's been a lot of updates, especially the fact that your boyfriend recently moved to South Korea, and you've recently given your followers a house tour of your boyfriend's studio loft in Seoul, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe for those, looking to move to Korea, do you mind telling us what the process of finding a new place was like?
Well, it was actually kind of hard. It did take us a little bit of time for him to find a place, mostly because we had to come back to Singapore for Chinese New
Yeah.
Year. So there was like
Oh.
a bit of a gap in between
Mhm.
our like month of house hunting. So initially I'd gone up with him. He only just recently moved up there in January. So I went up with him and we realized like when you look for places in Singapore, it's super easy. You go on Property Guru, you go on like
Yeah.
all these like 99 Co, like those apps, and then you just reach out to the listing agents and then they can take you to the viewing. We kind of expected it to be easy as well in Seoul, but everything is in Korean. I don't know. It didn't really like we assumed that it wouldn't be so difficult, but everything was in Korean. But the kicker was that you needed a Korean number to reach out to the realtors via the app because Korea has like they have like their own ecosystem. Like everything works really seamlessly as long as you're in the ecosystem. But at the time, my boyfriend, he hadn't gotten a number yet because he was waiting for his like, I think it's like an alien card. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
He was waiting for his alien card. And then with that physical card, you can go and sign up for like a line.
Right.
So we didn't have a number.
Oh no.
So yeah, so it was super hard at first. We had to like ask our friends to help us message, like reach out to the different property agents. And I think we only saw one viewing when I was there, and it was not very good.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, the struggles of not having a number, even me, like when I was traveling from Singapore to Korea, like if I don't have a Korean number, there's like nothing that I could do. And it's just it's a lot of struggle there. But I mean, I would assume that it's really hard for foreigners to actually find a place in South Korea because I mean there are a lot of realtors like below like apartment buildings, but I assume that they don't really speak English. Have you been to one of those?
So our plan was to go to one of those. In the end, what my boyfriend ended up doing was he had a colleague who could speak Korean, and he was like, I'm just gonna help you. Like, we're just gonna go to view apartments together, and then he'll like translate. So I think as a foreigner, if you have anyone who can speak Korean, please bring them along because it just makes it so much easier. Reading the contracts makes it so much easier. So what they ended up doing was I think they reached out to a realtor via this app. I think it's Dabang. And they went to go see a listing, and from there he met the realtor and basically spoke to them in person and was like, look, like this is not really the place for us. Do you have any other listings? And then he was like, yeah, we do. Like, do you want to go view one right now? And they were like, yeah. So then they went to, I think they viewed like two more, and then the second one was like perfect. So he ended up taking that one. But another thing that was new was the whole like deposit, like key money and rental, like rental type of like how the transaction's like slightly different than how it is in Singapore. So I think foreigners should know about that for sure. So I did mention it in another video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these studio lofts that I saw the video as well. And these studio lofts are very popular in South Korea, especially there's a lot of people living, by themselves. And it's like the perfect place to live by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like when you see videos on TikTok, like things in my apartment that just make sense. Is there anything that stood out for you?
Okay, so since that initial house tour video, I made three videos of things in my boyfriend's apartment that just make sense, and and people love that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
it is really interesting. Yeah, there were so many things in the studio loft that were just so functional. Like it's a really small space. I think it's only like 300 something square feet. So it's not, it's honestly not very big. So for one person, it's perfect, but they really maxed out like the functionality, the storage. For example, there's like, because he lives in a loft, so there's like a staircase that goes up to the bedroom area.
Yeah.
The entire staircase, it's like a fridge, and the rest is all storage. Like all the way to the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it was amazing. So I remember when he went to go view this place and he was showing me videos, he had to open all the cabinets. He was like, look at this, look at this. So I was like, great, I have lots of places to put my stuff when I go out there.
I think that's like the one big thing. There's a lot of storage. No matter how small the place is, there's a lot of storage places in those apartments.
They really do a great job at like maximizing that. So that was amazing. I think a lot of people were envious. They were like, how is this tiny studio loft in Seoul have more storage space than like my 3-bedroom apartment in like wherever, somewhere in America? And I was just like,
okay, but of course these lofts aren't that common in Singapore, right? Was there anything that, took you off guard, something out of the ordinary other than the extra storage space?
I think, I saw lots of videos about housing in Seoul. Like we did do our research before we went there. So we kind of had an idea, like we do want to get a studio loft, or he wants to get a studio loft. But I honestly wasn't expecting the second floor to be so short. Because it's not like a full level, and you're tall. And he's taller. He's 6'2", so he just fully can't stand up. But the place that he ended up getting was a little bit taller, so it reaches his shoulders. So it's just his head that's like he can't stand up straight. But the first one that we saw together, he was fully just like walking around the top floor, like completely bent at the hip. So that was surprising. But I guess, if you're shorter, then that's fine. I don't know.
And other than, of course, bringing a Korean with you to finding a place in Seoul, is there any other advice that you have for foreigners, maybe to look out for these kind of places or like this kind of area when you're looking for a place?
Not really, I guess. I think the biggest thing was really just having somebody who was a local to like help us out, because I also heard from some of my other friends from high school who are now working in Korea. When we met up with them, they did say that, if you're a foreigner, there's a chance that they won't give you a rate that's, as good as if you were like, they're not gonna, cheat you of money or anything, but you might just get like not as good of a deal as you would if you spoke Korean. So that was one thing that we were a little bit worried about. So that's why we were like, we really need to like get somebody to help him out for this. Because as much as I would love to be there and help him, like unfortunately I could speak Korean, so I wasn't able to do the translating and stuff. I think that's it.
Yeah, you've been learning your Korean, I saw.
Yeah. Okay, but I've only taken 9 lessons so far, so I'm honestly still like very, very, very beginner.
But how's it going? Do you like it?
I love it. I actually have like sticky notes on my wall of like,
oh my goodness,
like the topic markers, the subject markers. Like Korean language structure is not the same as Chinese or English, so it is like it's really learning something totally new. But I really do like it. It is actually a lot. It's really rewarding because I also get to practice, like whenever I'm there, I can see like what kind of words I recognize, what I can notice, like when people talk to me. So it's good. I'm really enjoying it so far.
That's awesome. You've been traveling back and forth from Korea and Singapore, and you recently went there, and I believe you saw some cherry blossoms there in South Korea as well.
Oh my God. So beautiful. I've never seen them before in my life.
Really?
So I was so happy.
But you know, like when I was living in Korea, when I went there for uni, it was like the first time I saw cherry blossoms as well. But I did not know they would last for like 10 days. And like after 10 days, they were just gone.
Yeah. So I had a work trip initially to that was in Hong Kong. So I kind of went to Korea straight from there. It's a lot closer. And I was praying. I was like, I really hope the cherry blossoms are going to be out when I'm there because I only had like a week. And I was like, I would be so sad if I had to wait a whole year to see them. But I heard because of global warming, the cherry blossoms came early. So I mean, I was really happy for myself, but I was sad for Earth because I was like, oh no. I mean, at least I got to see them. But it is kind of scary, like the fact that so many things are changing weather-wise as well.
But I mean, since you're traveling back and forth, what would you say is your favorite thing about Korea?
Well, other than Olive Young, which is clearly an addiction for me. Like every time I go, I leave with not even just one thing, like multiple things. It's an issue.
I think for our listeners who don't know what Olive Young is, it's basically a Korean version of a Watsons, would you say? A Guardian? But with like all these makeup products. Yeah.
It is so much better than Watsons. No hate like, to Watsons.
a cheaper version of Sephora.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a better way of putting it. It is like a way cheaper version of Sephora with all K-beauty stuff. And they're all good. Like it's just every time you go in, there's just like new products that are just really, really amazing. I don't know. I'm only really just getting into K-beauty skincare and makeup. So every time I go, it's like Wonderland for me. I'm like, I want to buy this and this and this and this.
I got actually super excited because I think it was Watsons. I can't remember if it was Watsons or Guardian, but they released a new like K-beauty section, and then they had all the products like the eyeliners and the mascaras that I always used to like buy from Olive Young, and then I would always stock up like several before I would come to Singapore. So,
yeah. I think that was Guardian. I know they do have like a K-beauty section, but the price, you can't beat it if you buy it from from Seoul,
Korea,
Korea.
But other than Olive Young, what do you recommend for those traveling to Seoul? Where should they go?
Well, the cafe game in Seoul is like insane. I can't even name like all the cafes that I've been to because half the time, honestly, I feel like people who go to Seoul, you could have a list of like things that you want to do, like cafes to go to. Like one of the more famous ones is Onion Cafe, the Hanok Cafe, the Onion Cafe. Super beautiful. My boyfriend and I end up we just kind of like explore an area and see what's there. And then there was one time I think we were near like Gangnam or something, and we found this like robot barista cafe where there's like the humans just take the order and then they just kind of stand there while the robot makes the coffee. So they have such cool concepts there that we just chance upon like without even trying really.
Right. I mean, I think there is like a whole push from the government that they want like a lot of cafes and different cafes. So, I mean, if you've been to Busan, which is in the south, they have a whole like street of just cafes, and it was like a push from the government as well. And it's like, I feel like it's more like you go to the cafes, and the cafes in Korea is very Instagram worthy.
Oh my God,
right?
100%. It's like you cannot compare it to the ones in Singapore because they're just like each cafe, like they'd be right next to each other, but the architecture would be totally different. Like they're themed as well. Like one would be like a railroad theme, and one would be like, I don't know, like industrial theme, or I don't know. Like, it's like there's no limit to like what they can think of to create like their cafes, and the coffee is just all good. So let's say I was very caffeinated when I was there.
Very caffeinated. But I mean, since you're a model, and I think this is a very important question, are there, give me some best Korean fashion tips or some Korean fashion trends or beauty trends that you've picked up when you were in South Korea.
Okay, so Beauty trends. I'm just really dipping my toe into like K-beauty, but skincare is something that I've been, you know, like passionately researching about for a couple years, like actually a really long time now. I love how Korean beauty skincare products are just, there's a lot of different, like, you know, like you hear about like the 10-step Korean skincare routine.
Yes,
it's 10 steps. It's 10 steps because each product is just formulated for like one specific function. Like not every product has to have 300 ingredients. And I feel like when a product is simpler, it's less likely to irritate your skin. It's just gentler in a sense. So that was something that I've really completely revamped. Like I used to have like, you know, 4 product skincare routine, but now I think it's like pretty close to 10 products, and almost all of it is Korean products because it's just good. Like they're just good. It's just, you just can't compare.
So how long do you take, like every morning or every night, how long do you take just to do that 10-step skincare?
Not that long. I mean, I would say doing my skincare maybe is like 10 minutes, depending on if I mask, obviously then it would be a little bit longer. But it doesn't matter. It's like my me time, you know, it's like the time for myself in the morning or like at night to just kind of, exactly. It just kind of like unwind and then get ready for bed or like kind of like start my day. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but I like it.
But now that you're, you know, going back and forth from South Korea to Singapore, I think you're inevitable going to be one of us now, South Korean. So can we expect more Korean content from you?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I feel like the day where I just, you know, pack up everything and I just move to Seoul, it's coming. You know, I don't know when it's gonna be, but I definitely would not object to relocating there for at least like maybe like a year. Especially because my boyfriend is there. Like there's no loss, honestly. So for sure, like every time I go, I learn something new about either like Korea itself or something about K-beauty. So for sure, you can expect more K-beauty or Korean content from me. And who knows, maybe one day I will do like a whole TikTok in Korean.
Oh, I am so excited for that.
Maybe, or maybe, you know, maybe we can do another interview in like a year and we can do the whole thing in Korean.
I think that sounds like a plan. I'll check up with you in a year and see how your progress is going. Well, thank you so much, Aimee, for joining me today.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. I'll be looking out for all of your Korean content and your progress in Korean.
Yep, watch out for it. Watch out, guys.
Well, if you guys want to check her out, she's Aimee Cheng-Bradshaw, and you can find her on Instagram and TikTok at Aimee Cheng-Bradshaw. I'm Hongbin Jung, and this has been K-Influencers on K-Wave, right here on Money FM 89.3.
Money FM 89.3.